Hey guys, what is going on? It's Joe here, filling in for Wrestlelamia, back with another episode. NXT fans are always waiting for their favorite NXT stars to get the call to the main roster. However, the wait can be longer than expected as seen by Asuka's long run on NXT. Here are 10 wrestlers or teams that will move on to the main roster in 2018. Number 1. Ember Moon. NXT TakeOver War Games didn't just see one title change, but two, as Ember Moon defeated Nikki Cross, Peyton Royce, and Kairi Sane in a fatal four-way match to win the NXT Women's Championship. While it's arguable that the women's division on the main roster is already stacked, the WWE's decision to feature a women's Royal Rumble match suggests they may be expanding their women's division further. Barring an Asuka-like reign, don't be surprised to see Moon appear on the main roster in 2018. Number 2. Alistair Black. Netherlands native Tom Budgen worked the independent circuit for 14 years before arriving in NXT in 2016. Black's recent feud with Velveteen Dream caught the fans' attention thanks to Dream's bizarre demand that Black say his name. Black finally relented after defeating Velveteen at NXT TakeOver War Games. Black is clearly on his way to the top of the NXT ladder, with an NXT Championship match inevitable. While a win might delay Black's call-up to the main roster, a loss is likely to signal a quick call-up. Number 3. Andrade Cien Almas. Third-generation Lucha Libre star Manuel Alfonso Andrade Oropeza worked in Mexico and New Japan Pro Wrestling, eventually signing with the WWE in 2015. Working as Andrade Almas, he didn't fare well on NXT, earning loss after loss until he turned heel and allied himself with manager Zelina Vega. Almas surprised the wrestling world when he defeated Drew McIntyre for the NXT Championship at the NXT TakeOver War Games event. Rumor has it Almas was considered for a call-up to the main roster as far back as spring 2017, so don't be surprised to see him debut on the main roster soon. Number 4. Sanity. The four-person faction known as Sanity has been one of the many highlights on NXT. With Eric Young, Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, and Nikki Cross teamed together, they've proved difficult foes to overcome, whether it was during their run as heels or their current run as babyfaces. Using the Freebird rule has only increased their competitiveness in tag team matches, leading some to wonder which brand they'll debut on in 2018. While both Raw and SmackDown Live have a number of good teams, there's always room for a fresh team or someone to take over when a team is sidelined due to injuries. The wildcard in Sanity is whether Eric Young will break out as a singles competitor once he hits the main roster. Number 5. Drew McIntyre. It's hard to believe the incredible journey of Drew McIntyre. Once seen as Vince McMahon's chosen one both on-screen and off, his star plummeted, leading to his role in the faction 3MB and his 2014 release. McIntyre didn't waste any time showing WWE had dropped the ball with his push, finding success on the independent circuit and a reign as TNA World Champion. McIntyre's stock rose, leading to his re-signing with WWE in 2017. McIntyre debuted on NXT, winning the NXT Championship just months after his return. McIntyre was rumored to be on his way to Smackdown Live after losing the NXT Championship to Andrade Almas. However, McIntyre tore a bicep during the match, thus his return to the main roster won't happen in 2017. Number 6. Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano has been wrestling since 2005, working the independent circuit up until signing with NXT in 2016. However, Gargano's career nearly ended when he was 21 years old after he suffered a hairline fracture to his lower back and was told to quit wrestling. Fortunately, a second opinion gave his wrestling career a proverbial new lease on life when he learned his left leg was shorter than his right, and a lift could help him continue wrestling. Gargano found success in NXT as one half of the team DIY, including a run as NXT Tag Team Champions. Although Gargano and his former DIY partner Tommaso Ciampa are feuding, Ciampa is out with an ACL injury, they could reform on the main roster, or Gargano could move up to 205 Live. Number 7. The Undisputed Era. Current NXT Tag Team Champions Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly and ally Adam Cole exemplify the difficulty of gauging when a wrestler will make the jump from NXT to the main roster. NXT has had wrestlers such as Kevin Owens work short runs on the yellow brand, while others such as Asuka and Finn Balor worked years. While it's difficult to tell what the future holds for the Undisputed Era, they've been impressive enough that a 2018 call-up can't be ruled out. Number 8. The Iconic Duo. Women's tag team Peyton Royce and Billie Kay formed the tag team known as the Iconic Duo in the fall of 2016. Since then, they've proved a formidable force in NXT, with fans wondering when the two Australian assassins would catch a break. A number of women's wrestlers have received the call-up to Raw and Smackdown Live, leading some fans to conclude the rosters are filled. However, as noted earlier, the Women's Royal Rumble suggests there may be a need for even more women wrestlers. Number 9. The Authors of Pain. With the Road Warriors' legendary manager Paul Ellering guiding their career, it's impossible not to associate the duo of Akam and Rezar with the team often called the greatest of all time. While it's far too early to say what the future holds for the Authors of Pain, they've proved dominant in NXT, winning the 2016 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic and holding the NXT Tag Team Championship for over 200 days. What was it that persuaded legendary manager Paul Ellering to step out of retirement and manage the duo? In a 2016 interview with WWE.com, Ellering explained, "When I first met Akam and Rezar, they had one thing on their mind: being great. There's a million wrestlers out there who will do whatever it takes to make it, but only the ones who are willing to go above and beyond actually make it big. Being great is more than just reading books and training, it's about what you're willing to give up. The great ones give up friends, family, and temptation to be completely committed to their craft. The great ones are willing to wake up 4 hours early just to out-train their competition. When I knew that Akam and Rezar were willing to do that, I knew they'd be successful." Ellering believes there are vast differences between the Roadies and the Authors of Pain. Both teams have two totally different styles. Hawk's first line to someone with an amateur background was, "Can you take a punch?" The Road Warriors were brawlers and fighters. Rezar has a mixed martial arts background and fought for Bellator. Akam is a former Olympic freestyle wrestler. I believe the Authors of Pain have the balance and toughness to make it to the levels of success that Hawk and Animal reached. The Authors have proved their mettle on NXT, and 2018 seems like the year they'll get to show whether or not they have what it takes to be successful on the main roster. Barring an ascension like booking disaster, we predict success for the Authors of Pain on the main roster. Number 10. Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong worked in Ring of Honor for 13 years, establishing himself as one of the world's most technically sound wrestlers. Strong seemed to work everywhere but the WWE, so fans became interested when he signed with the company in 2016, curious to see how he would fare in NXT. So far, he's done pretty well for himself. Although Strong hasn't been able to win the NXT Championship, his matches with Bobby Roode and Drew McIntyre have some insiders speculating he'll be called up to the main roster soon, as he's done nearly all he could short of winning the singles title. Strong seems like a good candidate for the Cruiserweight division, as long as WWE doesn't scrap it. Well guys, there you have it, 10 NXT wrestlers or teams that will move on to the main roster in 2018. Are there any you disagree with? Be sure to leave your comments and subscribe to Wrestlemania's channel so you don't miss out on any of the videos.